Hi everyone, this is Newmeyer here with our week 4 science, our hands-on science project. Now this week we're going to be learning about a new part of our body, the lungs. We're going to be working on number 6 in our Janice VanCleave book called Lung Capacity. All right, now what questions do you have about the lungs? Breathe in, breathe out. Think about how the lungs are formed, the air that we breathe in, the carbon dioxide we breathe out. Do you have some scientific questions? The question I'm going to be asking today is, how much air do our lungs hold? And does it differ whether we breathe a shallow breath or a deep breath? And do different people have different lung capacities? Meaning, can our lungs hold different amounts of air? So let's do some research. Our lungs look a lot like this. So when we breathe air in, it goes into our lungs like this. And we breathe out, it gets smaller. I want to show you a picture over here that will help us with our hypothesis today. All right, when we take a deep breath in, breathe in, our diaphragm contracts and it goes down, allowing more air to enter our lungs. And that's what we call lung capacity. How much do our lungs hold? What amount of air can they hold? That's what we call capacity. Now, when we breathe out, the diaphragm, this part down here under the lungs, relaxes, raises up, and it pushes that air out. Breathe out. So when we think about our experiment today, we're going to think about how much air can our lungs hold. Now, if we take a small breath, do you think it'd be less than when we take a big breath? Can you imagine our lungs opening up, taking a deep breath, letting all that air in? All right, so let's make our hypotheses. My hypotheses today will be that when I take a smaller breath, I'll bring in less air. I have less air capacity. But when I take a deep breath, like when I'm exercising or doing yoga and take a really deep breath, or even when I'm relaxing and take a deep breath, I let lots of air in and my lung capacity is greater. My other hypothesis is going to be that some of you will have more air capacity than others, and maybe you guys will have more than I do. I don't know. Well, let's do some testing to find out. For our experiment today, let me show you our materials. We have a milk jug filled to the top with water. We also have some tubing, aquarium tubing, and then I have a pan filled partway with water. I'm going to take our milk jug and I'm going to turn it upside down. Make sure your cap is screwed on nice and tight. You're going to turn it upside down and you're going to put it in my thing of water. All right, I've got my milk jug upside down in the water with the cap still on it. Now very carefully, I'm going to take the cap off so that none of the water gets out. Okay, now I'm ready with my tubing. I'm going to take my tubing and I'm going to sneak my tubing into the milk jug and put one side of the tubing in, leaving the other side out. Takes a minute and you're going to need a helper probably to get it in there. Okay, mine is up into the milk jug. I've got a towel here to wipe my hands off as well. All right, now everyone's going to have their own tubing, so you can each try this. I'm going to start with a shallow breath, and then I'm going to blow out all my air, and I'm going to see how much air my lungs will hold. Okay, here's my shallow breath. See where it is? Now I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to mark that. Now it'll show me how much my air holds, how my lungs hold when I take a shallow breath. Okay, I've marked it there. Now I'm going to fill it with water again and I'm going to try it with a deep breath. Next, I'm going to try it with a deep breath. Now, this is the one I'm going to want you guys to try, to take as deep a breath as you can when it's your turn, and then blow all that air out into the tube and see how much air you have the capacity to hold in your lungs. Okay, ready? Here I go. Deep breath. Whew, there we go. All right, do you see that when I took a deeper breath, it went down to this level? All right, I want to see how much of the air your lungs have the capacity to hold. So you guys give it a try. And I wonder who is going to be whose lungs are going to hold the most. Now, it's different per person. It's not really a competition, because sometimes just based on your body size or how deep of a breath you take, it will be different. But it'll be fun to see how it varies. All right. Did you give it a try? Pretty neat, huh? It's amazing how much air their lungs can hold. And when you saw the air, when you blew the air out, the air went into the milk jug and displaced the water that was in it and forced it out, and the air went inside the bottle. And that's how you're able to see how much air capacity that your lungs hold. Now, the more air you're able to breathe in, the more oxygen that can get to the rest of the body. And that's what the lungs do. They deliver all that air to the rest of your body through your bloodstream. We'll learn more about that when we study our body. Sure makes me want to practice taking some nice deep breaths. Nice. Well, this reminds me of a verse. It comes from Psalms, verse 156, verse 6. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.